and we're working on who the bad people are going to be that Peter Parker has to battle this time.
So we can expect bigger and better.
Well, I don't know if it'll be bigger and better. I think I'm going to try and make it smaller and worse. No, I'm going to try and make it more intimate. Find the heart of what made Spider-Man great originally in the comic books. I'm going to try and return to the central core of the character that I fell in love with. And in that way, I'll try and make it better. Try and make it the best of the bunch.
Fantastic. We can't wait for that. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks a lot.
Nice to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Hello everyone, I'm back making commentary videos. My voice might sound a little bit different, but today we're going to be discussing what really happened to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4. Essentially the year was 2011 and Sony cancelled the film. But seriously, the year was 2007, Spider-Man 3 had just come out and it was met with mostly negative reviews, which is bullshit by the way, but other than that, not many people liked it. Sam Raimi wasn't happy because it wasn't the film he wanted to make, and because of that he began development on Spider-Man 4, which would have wrote the wrongs of Spider-Man 3 and been the best Spider-Man film he could ever make. And with that, Sam Raimi started writing Spider-Man 4. Now the villain was going to be Vulture, and the side villain was going to be kind of Black Cat, kind of Vulturous. It was kind of weird. Looking through scripts, I don't think Sam Raimi could decide who it was going to be, but the actress who was going to play this character was going to be Anne Hathaway, who funnily enough later played Catwoman in the Dark Knight trilogy. For the actor who was going to play Vulture, that was going to go to John Malkovich, which is a great casting choice. He literally looks identical to Vulture. I'm not even saying that because he's bald, and plus he can really just play like angry characters very well. There was also going to be a cameo appearance from Mysterio, played by Bruce Campbell, who in the previous Raimi movies made cameos as different characters, and yeah, it was going to be revealed that he was Mysterio all along, and he'd be arrested in kind of a montage in the beginning of the film where Spider-Man would be taking him into the police, and it was going to be a montage where Spider-Man was taking down B-list villains. We also obviously had returning actors such as Tobey Maguire playing Spider-Man once again, Kirsten Dunst playing MJ once again. The only returning cast member is obviously James Franco as Harry, because obviously he died in the last movie. Rest in peace. Over the years, plenty of concept art and behind the scenes props have leaked online and scripts, and I'm going to show some of that on screen. But yeah, there's a lot of concept art of battles between Spider-Man and Vulture. There was even a 3D sculpture of what Vulture could look like, and there was also wings made for Vulture. And originally Vulture was going to be a villain in Spider-Man 3, being set up for Spider-Man 4, so these wings were made during the development of Spider-Man 3, but obviously Vulture was cut out of that film, but they kept the wings. And the fun fact about these wings is that they're actually on auction for a lot of money, and as far as I know, they haven't been bought yet. Black Cat or Vulturous was going to be Felicia Hardy, and it would have been yet another love interest for Peter, because at the end of Spider-Man 3 it was implied that Peter forgave himself and MJ forgave Peter, and they kind of got along, but it is probably wise to assume that after that they struggled getting back together, and so Felicia Hardy would have kind of been that new kind of love interest for Peter. But obviously because Peter was so scarred from what happened with MJ, he would have been a little bit more apprehensive of approaching Felicia. And not to mention, throughout the film, Spider-Man would deduct that Felicia is Black Cat or Vulturous, which would then lead him to lose trust in her and not pursue said love interest. Other than those details though, there's not much known about the story, because we can only really go off concept art, storyboards and script leaks. Now, there was actually an epic fight between Vulture and Spider-Man, where Spider-Man would almost die, getting thrown into the side of a glass skyscraper and getting his face dragged across, and Vulture almost stabs him, but Spider-Man pushes him off the building, and it's assumed that he kills Vulture by accident, leading Felicia Hardy to hate Peter or hate Spider-Man and seek revenge. So all of this sounds like a solid Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie that we would come to expect from him. But unfortunately, as the development went on, Sony just kept pushing, and it became evident that Sony wanted to reboot and make The Amazing Spider-Man, which Raimi realised, and because of this, he tried to pass off the script to other directors to hopefully realise his vision. But unfortunately, Sony wasn't budging no matter how much Sam Raimi asked, and because of that, in the end, he had to cancel the movie. Sam Raimi's reasoning for this was that he didn't want to rush making a movie about Spider-Man once again, because that's the mistake he made with Spider-Man 3, and because the studio wanted the film out a lot quicker than it should have been, Sam Raimi was like, no, I'm not going to deliver a half-baked product just to meet your deadlines, and because of that, he cancelled and told them to go ahead with their reboot. Now, there were rumours that he also wrote scripts for Spider-Man 5 and 6, and these scripts were later adapted into the Amazing Spider-Man duology films, because in the Spider-Man 4 script, Lizard is the main villain, and funnily enough, Lizard's the main villain of the Amazing Spider-Man, and in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Electro was the main villain, which funnily enough was the main villain for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 6. Now, this isn't confirmed, but that was a rumour floating around, and to be honest, it kind of makes sense. Now, jump to present day, we've had No Way Home, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man made an appearance, so the likelihood of getting a Spider-Man 4 is back again. It's probably not very likely, but the card is on the table, and I do hope to see it one day.
And does doing the 2 pictures in between prepare you to jump back into the giant machinery of doing a 4th movie?
Yeah, it's great. And
Does it change your perspective? Is it different going in, or?
well, it's always different. I
Yeah, I
mean,
guess so.
you know, each movie's different. We evolve as people,
Right.
all of that. At the same time, there are certain dynamics and relationships that have continuity. You know, Sam and myself, Sam Raimi, the director, and we have a certain banter or dynamic that's fun and funny, and I love collaborating with him. So there's some familiarity that I really love, and also I like the new, and okay, how do we press this? How do we make it more exciting, more fun? How do we evolve the character and make it a rich story? And how do I make it interesting for myself to go do something else, you know? So yeah, I appreciate that too. I have fun with those movies, I really do, you know?